Ruto has really encouraged people to practice corruption. He is bribing people in the loans of State House openly when everybody can see. He calls people and gives them bribes. So once the president has shown that bribery is a way of life, the senators have learned from him because he also started by bribing them. So when he is not available to bribe them, they have to be bribed by somebody else. And so bribery has become a normal way of life in this country, and it has been perfected by William Ruto. He is shamelessly, with his deputy, going around in the country with sacks of money stolen from institutions like Kenyatta National Hospital to bribe people for re-election. And therefore the senators, the MPs, the police, the administrators, everybody is learning from the best. William Ruto is the one who has perfected bribery as a way of life. And therefore everybody has learned from him. And that is the country now that we have. And that is why we are preparing for the next election to correct this situation by removing from office and bringing a government that is transparent and accountable. Yes?
Your Excellency, Apollo TV 57, there's a petition in court to stop political meetings in State House. What's your reaction to that? Number two, how far have you gone with plans in search of the United Opposition Plan bearer, and are there any planned meetings coming up? Number three, you promised to name the Witima Church attack suspects. How soon are you going to name them? Number four is...
Too many questions. Those are enough. One, we agree with that petition. State House has become a scene of crime. Instead of being a coveted institution where good policies are conceived and pronounced, it has become the center of corruption and bribery. It has also is no longer a national institution that looks after the people of Kenya. It is now the headquarters for UDA party and the election of William Ruto. William Ruto has abandoned government. He's not running the government anymore. He's just thinking about the election. So State House is a campaign scene, and again, a scene of corruption and bribery. We are committed to have one single presidential candidate to face William Ruto. We want to ask patience from the people of Kenya. Coalition building is a delicate affair, but the people of Kenya have been very clear to us that they want one candidate to face William Ruto, and we want to give them that commitment. On my part, I want to give that commitment. And when I listen to my sister Mother Karua and my other brothers in the alternative government, they are all committed that we shall have one single presidential candidate to face William Ruto. What I want to ask is patience, and there is no hurry. Mwai Kibaki, the third president of the Republic of Kenya, was named as the opposition flag bearer on the 14th of October 2022, when the election was on 27th December the same year. 2 months, 13 days apart. There's no hurry. We can take our sweet time. If you ask me, we should not be in a hurry. Anything from March, April next year is good enough. We told the IG Kaja that we shall go back on the 16th for a report. We want to hear from him. I have information William Ruto has said those people should not be taken to court because he will be indicted. And he will be shooting himself in the foot because they are actually policemen and politicians very close to him. The investigations have actually unearthed all the police officers who were on the scene and the politicians who hosted them and who planned the attack, but there will be a very serious cover-up. I have information that William Ruto has said that he would not allow the prosecution of those politicians and those policemen because his government will be right in the center of it. But let's cross the bridge when we get there. We'll go to see the IG on the 16th. He promised us that he'll give us a progress report. And we told him we want arrest and prosecution by then. But let's cross the bridge when we get there. Last one. Yes.
Thank you. What different, how differently would you approach it in terms of South Sudan? And then there are also concerns that perhaps your engagements have been set up mostly in Montreal. Other regions are asking, when are you going to have engagements with the coastal region, Rift Valley, and other?
My friend, I'm here today talking about northern Kenya. I'm a Kenyan leader. William Ruto has unsuccessfully tried to say I'm tribal because I come from the mountain and I spend a lot of time there because it's home. Even you people, when you go to work, in the evening you go back home because that's home. I'm a Kenyan leader and I'll be talking about Kenya. I'm today talking about northern Kenya. Later tonight I have radio stations from the Ma community discussing issues in Narok, in Kajiado, and in Samburu. I want to say the 2010 Constitution dealt in a very big way with the issue of marginalization. My administration will work on accountability to make sure that funds, public funds, appropriated by the National Assembly and given to the counties and given to the MPs through the Constitutional Development Fund, those funds are spent prudently for the purposes for which they were appropriated. I don't think we have really a big problem about lack of funds. It's the issue of accountability, and more so the North. The people of northern Kenya have borne the brunt of lack of accountability. And they have been taken for granted for too long. And that's why they're happy with me. And I can tell you, President William Ruto has the MPs and the governors in northern Kenya and the senators. I have the people. The people are with me because I'm talking their language. And I've become a very serious defender of the people of northern Kenya. And I want to give them a solemn promise and undertaking that in the next 1.5 years, I'll be their spokesman. I'll bring out all the issues that bedevil their region. I'll call out their leaders until they get justice. And after I'm elected president, I'll sort them out. I'll carry out a special audit on funds allocated to those regions from 2013 to date. And those who have misappropriated those funds will be held accountable. And they must pay the price for stealing public funds. Yes.
What do you want to say about the drought situation in the Mount Kenya region now that you are against the food supply system being used by the
The drought situation in Mount Kenya region is very minimal. There are very few areas that receive relief food in the central Kenya region, where I worked for many years as a district officer. I know the Mount Kenya region like the back of my hand. We have some little challenge in Tharaka, some little challenge in Bere, some little challenge in Katwanyaga, in Thika, some little challenge in Kakuzi, in Maragua, some little challenge in Karai, in Kikuyu, some little challenge in Deya, in Rimuru, some little challenge in Kieni, in Nyeri. That's it. And a little challenge in some parts of Ndarawa, in Nyandarua. We have no business sending food to Kinangop. It's the basket of this country to give food to the people of Kenya. You have no business sending food to Kirinyaga. You have no business sending food to Madera. You have no business sending food to Tigoni. You have no business sending food to Gatundu. Those are people who have food. That food should be taken to Wajir, to Garissa, to Marsabit, to Turkana. That is where the food is needed. And if it was to be taken to the people of Mount Kenya region, it should be taken to those who are starving, not as bribes for votes. That is where we have a problem. And probably now that you have talked about that, let me also say, I have seen leaders from Western Kenya, the governor, the deputy governor, I have seen Aden Duale and others. They have been sent by William Ruto to abuse President Uhuru Kenyatta and trying to intimidate him and trying to sell him fear that he should not have a political mind, he should not interact with other leaders in Kenya, and he shouldn't have a political choice. And if he does so, they will take away his retirement benefits and his allowances. Let me tell those leaders sent by William Ruto. One, they have no moral authority to address President Uhuru Kenyatta. President Uhuru Kenyatta is a retired president of the Republic of Kenya, a statesman, a very serious nationalist, a Kenyan who served this country with dedication and who deserves respect. Number two, I don't think President Uhuru Kenyatta can give up his constitutional obligations because of allowances. President Uhuru Kenyatta is not a poor man. He's a Kenyan who has worked hard. He's a Kenyan who has money and resources. And I don't think the President Uhuru Kenyatta can be told to shut up so that he gets allowances or he doesn't get. In any case, even if they carry out the threat and hold his allowances, there's no problem. Once we take over office, we shall give President Kenyatta his dues. And I know why they have a problem with the President Uhuru Kenyatta. President William Ruto is in shock. He is confused. He has panicked. The one-term thing is real because he became president courtesy of the votes from the Mount Kenya region. The Mount Kenya region, those who voted for him, those who voted for Raila are all against him. He had hoped he could persuade President Uhuru Kenyatta to assist him to divide the mountain. Even when he went to cry to him in Ichaweri, he was there on a mission to see how he can get President Uhuru Kenyatta to see whether in one way or another he could cause some confusion and the mountain is divided so that the mountain vote does not go to somebody else in one basket. President Uhuru Kenyatta cannot allow President William Ruto to divide the mountain. President Kenyatta and I and other leaders, Martha Karua, Justin Muturi, Mithika Linturi, will do whatever it takes to make sure the mountain is united, because that vote is very important to this country, and it is a vote that will help the rest of Kenyans get rid of William Ruto. So I want to ask William Ruto to stop sending junior leaders to abuse President Uhuru Kenyatta. President Uhuru Kenyatta left you a great country. When he left office, the health system was working. In 3 years, you have destroyed the health system. When President Uhuru Kenyatta left office, the university, the Higher Education Loans Board was working. 3 years down the line, you have destroyed it. When President Uhuru Kenyatta left office, there was capitation for primary schools and secondary schools. 3 years down the line, children are at home. Stop blaming President Uhuru Kenyatta for your political problems and challenges. You destabilize your own government. You lie to the people of Kenya. You have made corruption a way of life. You have made bribery the epitome of State House. The challenges that you have as a president are of your own making. And stop blaming President Uhuru Kenyatta. Stop sending leaders to abuse President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I want to challenge William Ruto, if he's a man enough to abuse President Kenyatta himself. Stop sending some leaders to abuse President Kenyatta on your behalf. Do it yourself if you are man enough. Abuse him. And let me say, I will not allow President Uhuru Kenyatta to be intimidated. I have a responsibility as a leader from the region to defend our son, our kinsman. President Uhuru Kenyatta must be allowed to retire in dignity. He must be allowed to enjoy his constitutional freedom to do whatever he wants. If he wants to work with us, why not? If he wants to work with Gachagua to unite the mountain, to unite Kenya, why not? And I want to tell William Ruto, I heard him saying that Azimio cannot be anything without ODM. He is lost. The ODM of Raila Odinga is not the ODM of today. What William Ruto is holding is a shell of ODM, the fake one, of Junet Mohammed, Gladys Wanga, and Oburu Odinga. The ODMB, the one with the people, is gone and is in one term. The people of Ukambani are gone, they are in one term. The people of Kisii are gone, they are in one term. The mountain is gone, is in one term. And by the way, there is no UDA without the mountain. It's a shell. So let him not, and he should know, Azimio only lost because the mountain did not go to Azimio in total. As we talk, the mountain, Azimio, United Opposition, ODMB, all of us are in one term. We'll get 70+1. and will make him one-term president. So let him stop sending people to abuse President Uhuru Kenyatta. Let him not demean Azimio. Let him deal with his own challenges that are self-inflicted. He mismanaged politics. He mismanaged the country. He made corruption a way of life. He made lies as his trademark. And Kenyans are fed up because they can see through him. And therefore, he should sort out his own problems, and he should not send people to blame President Uhuru Kenyatta for his woes. And I want to say to the people of Kenya that I will take time. Anytime Uhuru Kenyatta is attacked, I must defend him as our retired president, as my brother, as my kinsman, and I have a responsibility to do so. And that I will be able to do from time to time. Thank you very much, asanteni sana, Mungu abariki. I think we have said enough, asanteni. And especially from our brothers and sisters in northern Kenya, where drought continues to tighten its grip, just as families prepare for the holy month of Ramadan. No parent should ever have to watch their child sleep hungry. These voices from the north are not mere statistics. They are the living conscience of our nation, calling us to act with urgency and humanity. One life lost is one too many. As Kenyans, we know who we are. In moments of trial, we have always turned to the enduring spirit of Harambee, pulling together, standing shoulder to shoulder, and sharing what little we have so that no one is left behind. When our region suffers, when one region suffers, the whole nation feels the pain. When one child goes hungry, it diminishes us all. This is why we must rise together under the simple but powerful call of Kenyans for Kenya. A reminder that our strength has never been in division, but in unity, compassion, and collective responsibility. Kenya is now facing a deepening drought and food security crisis that warrants urgent national attention. Current assessments indicate that about 3.3 million people are already experiencing high levels of acute food insecurity, a figure projected to rise as below average rains, rising temperatures, and declining harvests continue to strain livelihoods. As of December 2025, the crisis was particularly severe among the most vulnerable, with more than 741,000 children under the age of 5 years, acutely malnourished, and over 109,000 pregnant and lactating women in need of treatment, underscoring the scale of humanitarian emergency. Further, water stress has emerged as one of the harshest realities. Women and children bear the greatest burden, walking long distances, missing school, and facing increased risks of disease and malnutrition. This suffering is especially painful as it unfolds against the backdrop of Ramadan, when many families already fasting for faith now endure hunger and thirst imposed by circumstances. In light of these realities, William Ruto must declare the drought in northern Kenya a national disaster. Such a declaration will unlock the scale of national and international response required to save lives, protect livelihoods, and restore dignity of the Kenyan people. Before a drought reaches the emergency phase, a responsible leadership does preparedness. With 3 failed rain seasons, what was expected? Building of water ponds, dams, and allocation of emergency funds in time to those in need. In a meeting yesterday, the government, in a typical knee-jerk reaction, allocated 4 billion Kenya shillings to 23 ASAL counties. This translates to approximately 173 million per county, allocated to 3.3 million Kenyans who are affected. This translates to 1,200 Kenya shillings per person. These funds are way below the minimum food basket recommended by the United Nations to approximately Kenya shillings 2,700 per person in the rural areas. In an expose recently, the Office of the Deputy President spent 338 million on private jets, chartered airplanes and choppers. Aden Duale's Shah business lost 11 billion Kenya shillings. This government does not take human life seriously. For a young man in Kenya, if they are not killing you in the streets, they are tear gassing you in church or killing you with thirst and hunger in the north. At the same time, the leaders of northern Kenya, who cannot account for Kenya shillings 1 trillion since devolution in 2013, are quiet and enjoying luxury in Nairobi as their people in the north continue to suffer from hunger and anguish. The people of northern Kenya are Kenyans. Their children are Kenyan children. Their hopes, struggles, and aspirations are part of the shared destiny of our nation. Any Kenyan oppressed or neglected today is a warning to us all. And injustice and suffering do not recognize borders or communities. We are and must remain one for all and all for one. Let this be the moment we reclaim the best of who we are, a people who do not turn away from hardship, but who meet it together with courage, with compassion, and with the unbreakable spirit of a nation that refuses to abandon its own. The spirit of Harambee must guide us. As President William Ruto tours the food insecure and water-stressed north from tomorrow to disperse the Nyota cash in Wajir, Mandera, and Garissa this week, he should know that life is more important and people are at the verge of hunger and death. In any case, the whole essence of touring the north is little on Nyota program, but to sanitize the corrupt leaders who have failed the people of northern Kenya. Furthermore, the Nyota program is a World Bank program happening in other African countries like Angola, Mozambique, Nigeria, Senegal, Benin, Togo. Yet we have not seen their presidents turn this into re-election campaign rallies across their countries. As a DCP party that is built on the philosophy of listening to the people, Kenyans have sent us overwhelming questions and concerns about the North and promises made by one William Ruto. Mr. William Ruto, as you go to dance on the podiums in the North this week starting from tomorrow, do not forget to tell the people of the North why only less than 35% of the population have access to basic clean and safe drinking water compared to the national average of about 68%. The North, too, are Kenyans. Mr. William Ruto, in the North, over 850,000 school-going children did not attend school last year.